It's artwork that that can be accessed at any time by anybody.
We take the art actually into the landscape, into the villages.
It's turning public spaces into gallery space, which is very important in terms of improving accessibility to arts, good quality arts experience.
The artsNK approach to developing and supporting the arts and specifically public art is to, as far as possible, involve local people in all of the decision making, as far as possible to do artworks that are appropriate to their particular location. What we want to do is think about the long-term consequence of supporting the arts.
We have two distinct types of public art projects, which there is a lot of crossover between, but essentially there are some public art pieces which are created by the communities themselves through workshops with professional artists where they learn the skills and then create the work themselves, usually based on professional artist designs, but sometimes not. Sometimes the designs come from the community as well. And then the other strand really are the professional artist commissions, which are high quality professional sculptural works which usually will have come out of a result of consultation or conversation with the local community or research about local history, so they are grounded in their place.
The project at Rawsby was one of our early attempts to test the idea of creating a number of disparate artworks in a single location to see whether they really genuinely had the potential to increase visitor numbers. A first attempt to dip our toe in the water of cultural tourism, if you like. And so there's a sequence of prints in the village hall, there's a wood carving, a stone carving, a metal artwork, and we also employed an artist to do a growing artwork. I think part of the value of that experience was involving residents in Rawsby in the selection of all of those artists, in discussing what they should be and going on that journey of excitement at discovering something that was much, much bigger and greater than the sum of its parts.
With the work that is created by community groups, it tends to act as an amazing focus for community groups to come together, and people that have never spoken to each other, never known each other, suddenly become pulled together by this art project. And it's been the kind of catalyst for a lot of communities to start to do more than just public art. It's brought people together who are proactive and who then want to make their community better in other ways.
When you think that if you counted up the numbers of people, I did it at one time, and I think that over 15% of our community on one project alone worked on one project. There are about 550 people in this village, so on one project, 15%. And if you look at the numbers of the people who have actually been on the various things we've done, hundreds of people have participated in this village alone on the things that we've done. It's people who would not otherwise have got involved, have come along with friends, neighbours. Neighbours said to me, come and have a go at this. And they've come and joined in and got a great pleasure out of it.
The Nocturne project actually started off by us being approached by one of the residents, a chap called Cliff Baxendale, to come and have a look at the village gateway piece that he'd designed and to talk about other artworks that might happen there. That was probably 5-6 years ago. Since then we've worked with Cliff to develop a Nocturne trail group, and we've worked with them to get significant amounts of money from Arts Council and from Heritage Lottery to do a carved wooden seat, to do a splendid mosaic footpath going up to the church, to create an innovative photographic artwork to go outside the village hall. And we're now working with them so that Nocturne is going to be one of our new village regeneration schemes.
The projects that we've done, I think, have raised the profile and the potential and possibility of what might be practically possible in a small place like Nocturne.
It's brilliant because if I have any visitors from away, I always take them round to show what the village people have actually done. You were then really pleased, you were so involved in doing it, you really felt good because you were involved in doing something that you never thought you would be able to do. You know, when they first showed us a chisel and a mallet, you thought, what am I going to do with this?
I think artsNK, for me, what I've seen for other areas and other places, which I don't know very well, but I would say that what's actually happened and is happening here has been absolutely incredible. Their support for us, and obviously other community groups, has been phenomenal.
They create a great sort of trail of public art throughout the whole of all their communities. They're looking at not just the larger towns, Sleaford and Highcombe and stuff, they're looking all the way down to the smallest towns and villages, and that's what's really exciting for us because we work across that spectrum as well.
The Billinghay project came about as a result of Lincolnshire Development getting hold of some European funding for the economic regeneration of public spaces.
We were looking at a number of villages in the county that are appropriate size for the sort of work we want to do and that had a nice village centre and in need of enhancement, and Billinghay had we'd spoken to Billinghay, they had certain ideas about wanting to create a new area in the centre of the village for markets and fairs and that sort of thing. So when we started talking to them, we also went to artsNK, who we work with quite a lot, to see what ideas they had as well.
We needed to develop something that genuinely was capable of attracting additional visitors to the area and to the village of Billinghay, to go to the shops to spend money, to increase the chances of those shops staying open.
And in the end we commissioned a design team called Electric Wig to come and have a look at the project and make their suggestions. They came up with the idea of doing some street furniture and then also having a trail of zoetropes around the village which would be attached to signposts.
Well, the thing that we thought was important is to have something that would actually get people to something that would trigger curiosity, really, a form of interaction.
But the stories that the wigs have depicted inside are classic tales of rural village, people walking on stilts or eccentric characters from the village's past.
I think what's interesting is the day those zoetropes went up, all the kids were coming around and looking at them, and you could tell that they were going to learn about these characters as well. You know, it was sort of ingrained. It's there now, and it's they're going to learn about all these characters rather than it sort of dying out throughout the generations.
There's also been a group in Billinghay working for about the last, I think, 6 or 7 years on a huge mosaic, and that's coming towards the end and completion.
There's 3 panels. One shows medieval times and when the Romans were here. The middle panel is Victorian times and getting much more industrialised. And then the final panel is modern day history through from the Second World War onwards and much more mechanisation.
From my own personal experience, I get quite a bit of feedback from the local village people. Everybody thinks that it's a really first-class project.
Well, artsNK has been very supportive, and there's quite a few other projects going on in other villages, so presumably this has been something which has captured people's imagination and fired them up to getting more involved in art projects.